Hello students, today we are doing lesson 9.1.2 area of circles. On question number 922, you will obtain a lesson 9.1.2 resource page. Something is similar like this, okay? And we are going to estimate the circle area. How? So on question A, you are going to estimate the area of the circle by counting whole and parts of squares. So what do they mean? Whole, this is one whole. Okay, area is the number of squares inside a figure. Okay, part, so this is a part of the square. Okay, that's what they mean. Counting whole, counting parts. Okay, that's what they mean. All right, so on A, the radius, distance from center to the circle. The distance from center, this is the center to the circle, is 5 units. So we have 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are counting the number of squares and part of squares inside our circle to see how many little tiny squares we estimate to have inside the circle. All right. I do not like to take times to count one square at a time. So I would like to go ahead and make it quicker to get the answer done faster. So first, I estimate the area of the squares by looking at what I see inside the circles. I see the rectangle. This rectangle you see is the black rectangle. I have the length equal 8. The length from here to here is 8. The width is 6. So area, I took 8 times 6 equal 48. That's how I got the first one. 8 times 6, 48. And on the top, I also see another smaller rectangle. I trace it with the red marker. Okay, so I see there are 6 of them, so that's why I add 6 right there. Okay, plus 1, where do I get number 1? So this is 1/2. This is another 1/2. So 1/2 I estimate is about 1. So this is the 1. Since I have the rectangles, the red rectangle on the top is the same thing like the rectangle on the bottom side. So I add exactly the same thing. 6 again, right there, plus half of this and half of this makes 1. Okay. All right. So continue. I estimate again. Now my rectangle is getting smaller. The top blue rectangle, I have 2 little tiny squares. So I add it by 2 right there. Okay. And this little tiny part of the square, this little tiny part of the square add together with little tiny part of the square and this little tiny part of the square, I estimate together they equal to number 2. Okay, whatever I do on the top, it looks exactly the same thing like on the bottom. On the bottom, the blue rectangles, I have 2 little tiny squares. I add 2 on it, plus this little tiny part plus this tiny part equal 1. I estimate this part right there and this part right there, add these 2 together equal 1. So 1 and 1 make 2. Okay. Now on the sideway of my circle, I estimate again. So I think when I estimate, I think each sideway of my rectangle, the whatever left on the left is about 3. Whatever left on my right side of my circle is also 3. So that's why I add 3 right there plus 3. I add them all together. I have about 76 square units. So if you do it that way, or you prefer to do it another way, your own way. On question B, you should get the answer estimate identical. We cannot tell the answer right now because we don't have any team to compare our areas yet. However, your data should be between 75 to 80 square units, should be between these two. Okay. All right. If you have any question, again, email me. So or talk to me in a Zoom meeting. So we would love to go over them together. 923. We are looking for the outside and the inside squares. Okay. So you will again get the resource page from your teachers. I will give it to you. So let's try to do question A. Find the area of the bigger square, larger square, okay? So the bigger square stays outside of the circle. We know the radius is 5, okay? So I cut my biggest square into 4 little tiny squares. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Each little tiny square is go by 5. The length of the square is 5. Another length is 5. So the area is 5 times 5, 25. Okay. Right here, same thing. The length is 5. The width is 5, is 25. We have 4 of them. Each one of them equal to 25 square units. Okay. So when we add them all, we have 100. So the area of the biggest square outside the circle is 100 square units. Okay. All right. I'm going to put it down 100 square unit this way so it's easier for you to see. Okay. All right. Now we done question A. This is question A, answer A. Question B, count, find the area of the smallest square. Okay. So the area of the smallest square right here. It stay inside the circle. Okay. So the bigger square stay outside the circle. The smaller square stay inside the circle. So inside the circle, I have a square, and this square I divided up in 2 triangles. The area of the first triangle on my right side. Okay, you see it on my right side. This is my right side right here. It is base times height divided by 2. So what I see, the base right here, okay? The base right here, since this is the center all the way up to the circle, we call it radius. So this is 5. From center all the way down to the circle, this is 5 because it's the radius. So the base is 5 plus 5, okay? The base equal 10 because you take 5 plus 5. And the height right here, letter H, height, okay, equal 5. So I'm going to take 10 times 5 divided by 2. 10 times 5 get 50. 50 divided by 2, we have 25 square units. Okay. So if the area of the triangle on the right equal 25 units, square units, the area on the left of the triangle is the same thing because they are identical triangles. So this on the left, area of the triangle stay on your left side is also 25 square units. Okay, so it should be 25 and 25, add them together. So the left and the right, add them together, 25 plus 25, you get 50. So the answer for question B is area of the square inside the circle is 50 square units. So estimate the area of the circle. it's it should be between this is the big square, and then next to the big square is the circle. Next to the circle is the little tiny square. So the circle is between the big square and the smaller square. So the area of the circle, estimate it is between, okay, 50 and 100, between 50 to 100 square root units. Okay. All right. So question C. The area of the big square is more than the area of the circle. Of course, it's bigger because it stays outside the circle. The area of the smaller square is less than the area of the circle. Of course, because it stays inside the circle. Okay. Question C. We don't have our team to discuss, so let's try to see the circle area should be between, again, back to question A and B. It should be between 50 to 100 square root units. So it should be about 75 square root units, okay? Yes. All right, let's move on. 924. Append the lesson 9.1.2a resource page, and this time the radius is 6 units, so from the center to the circle it's 6, so radius is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you are counting the whole squares and part of the squares to find out what is the area of the circle. Okay, so this is the whole square. It's go by S. Okay, you can count how many little tiny squares, the full 1 squares, how many little tiny 1 squares you have inside the circle, and parts. Okay, so this is part right there. This is the part right here. This is what we call the part right there. Okay, okay, estimate these two is about one full square. Okay, so after that you share your answer with me instead of with your friends. You share your answer with me. Okay, all right, so you can do this way, like this way, or you can try to count how many whole squares you have inside the circle and how many parts of squares inside the circle. Add them together to find out the area of the circle. Okay, let me know your answer on your paper. All right, 924, question B. Area right here. Okay. Julia was calculating the area outside of the square. Area outside of the square. Okay. Area of the outside square. And then she divide them into 4 smaller ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the pictures on her right. Each square is this, each square right here go by 36 square root unit because 6 times 6 equals 36. Okay, we see it. How are the length, the width, area of each small square relating to the radius of the circle? All right, the radius equal to the side of the square. Everyone see it now? This is the radius from here, from the center to the circle. We call it radius. Radius is equal to the side of the square, the little tiny square. Continue. The area of each smaller square, okay, is the radius squared. Yeah, the area is 6 times 6, okay. 6 times 6, area is 6 times 6 equal 36. What is 6? 6 is radius. What is another 6? It's the same thing like radius. So when you take radius times radius, it's the same thing like radius squared. Okay. Continue. The area of the outside square is equal to 4 times 6 times 6 squared units. The outside, the biggest square, okay, it's made up of 4 little tiny squares. So that's why there are 4 of them. You multiply it by 4. Each one of them is 6 times 6. So 4 of 6 times 6. Okay, that's finding the area of the square, the big square. All right, question C. Julia divided the inside square into triangle. So inside square into triangle. How is each triangle relating to the radius? Okay, so did you notice the leg of, this is the leg, okay? The leg of one triangle is equal to the radius, okay? There we go. This is the leg of the triangle. This is another, the leg of the triangle. Leg of the triangle is equal to the radius, yes. The area of the square, the area of the square, all right, this is our square. The area of the square is equal 2 times the radius squared. All right, so if you take radius right there times 2, it is the same thing like the area of the square equal to 2 times the radius squared. Okay, so if the radius is 6, okay, 6, okay, so 6 times 6, 36. Remember triangle base, the first leg times, or the base times the height. 6 times 6 equal 36. Don't forget to take 36 divided by 2 equal 18. Okay, so the area of the square, there are 4 of them. Okay, so you take 18 times 4. 8 times 4, 8 times 4, 32. 4 times 1, 72. 4 times 1 plus 3, 72. So this is the area of the square. Is it equal to 2 times the radius squared? So if you take the radius, 2 times radius squared, which is 36, which is 6 times 6, it's the same thing like 72. Okay. All right, question D. If the area of 2 squares relating to the radius of the circle. So she wonder how to, she wonder if she can relate her circle estimate back to the radius as well. Okay, so the area of the circle is between the area of the big square and the tiny little square. Okay, so if you add these 2 areas together, divide by 2, it should be between 144 and 72. Therefore, it should be between 108. Okay, squared units. Homework: read math notes and do the learning log, and do the problem 931 to 936. So if you have, this is 931, 32, 33, 32, I don't have enough page to write down. So this is the answer. And 934, 35, 36. If you do it and show me how you get the answer done, great, you will get full credit. And if you have any question, please let me know as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.